when and where indeed. Hello, how are we? And if the birds are too loud, I can shut the window once more. Birds known for sitting. Alright, wonderful. So I'm considering hopping back to this one for a moment, rather than continuously doing Robert Browning, even though I do thoroughly enjoy that. Oh no, this is entirely me, cough cough. Actually, that's what we could do. Done. Yes, indeed, there are other guns other than Browning. Indeed. BSA used to make guns before they did motorcycles or anything to that effect. Hence the name of British Small Arms. How are you today, Glenn? And Spin, I hope you are also well. Radiate gear, scooping the engine deck. Yeah, that's not going well, is it? Hold on, what on earth am I using as a bookmark? Right. I need to cancel that. And they are DB610s, so not cheap either. I seriously do love that so very much. Anyway, we shall now begin. My heart is in the Highlands. My heart is in the Highlands. My heart is not here. My heart is in the Highlands, a-chasing the deer. Chasing the wild deer and following the roe. My heart's in the Highlands wherever I go. Farewell to the Highlands, farewell to the North, the birthplace of valour, the country of worth. Wherever I wander, wherever I rove, the hills of the Highland forever I love. Farewell to the mountains high covered with snow, farewell to the starths and green valleys below. Farewell to the forests and wild hanging woods, farewell to the torrents and loud pouring floods. My heart is in the Highlands, my heart is not here. My heart's in the Highlands a-chasing the deer, chasing the wild and following the roe. Wild deer and following the roe. My heart's in the Highlands wherever I go. When Polly buys a hat. When father goes to town with me to buy my Sunday hat, we can't afford to waste much time in doing things like that. We walk into the nearest shop, And father tells them then, just bring a hat you think will fit a little girl of 10. It may be plain, it may be fine, with lace and flowers too. If it just feels right on my head, we think that it will do. It may be red or brown or blue, with a ribbon, light or dark. We put it on and take the car that goes to Central Park. When mother buys me a hat for me, buys me a hat. When mother buys my hat for me, we choose the shape with care. We ask if it's the best they have, and if they're sure there aren't. And if they're assurant, we'll wear. And that hurts to say. And when the trimming's rather fine, why, mother shakes her head and says, please take the feathers off. We'd like a bow instead. But oh, when sister buys my hats, you really do not know the hurry and the worry we have to undergo. How many times I've heard her say and shivered where I sat, I think I'll go to town today and buy that child a hat. They bring great hats with curving brims, but I am too tall for those. And hats that have no brims at all, which do not suit my nose. I walk about and turn around and struggle not to frown, and wish I had long curly hair like Angelina Brown. Till when at last the daylight goes and I'm so tired then, I hope I'll never need another hat again. And when I've quite made up my mind that shopping is the worst of all my tasks, then sister buys the hat that we saw first. And so we take it home with us as quickly as we may, and sister lifts it from the box and wonders what they'll say. And I peep into the glass and promise not to tell. I smile because I really think it suits me very well. Then slip into the library as quiet as can be, and this is what my brother says when first he looks at me. Upon my word, I never saw a queerer sight than that. Don't tell me this outrageous thing is Polly's Sunday hat. Indeed, hat, yes. I quite liked that one, actually. That was pleasant. And as you'll see, we're definitely not reading from this book. I fished out the little dove not too long ago. He was rather dusty, so gave him a good beating, and he will join us every now and then. You know, as a stand-in for myself. The world's music. The world's a very happy place, where every child should dance and sing, and always have a smiling face, and never sulk for anything. I waken when the mornings come, and feel the air and light alive with strange sweet music like the hum of a bee about their busy hive. The linnets play among the leaves at hide and seek, and chirrup and sing while flashing to and from the eaves. The swallows twitter on the wing, and twigs that shake and boughs that sway, and tall old trees you could not climb, and winds that come but cannot stay, are singing gaily all the time. From dawn to dark, the old mill wheel makes music going round and round, and dusty white with flour and meal. The miller whistles to its sound. The brook that flows beside the mill, as happy as a brook can be, goes singing its own song until it learns the singing of the sea. For every wave upon the sands sings songs you never tire to hear, of laden ships from sunny lands, where it is summer all the year round. All the year. And if you listen to the rain, when leaves and birds and bees are dumb, you hear it pattering on pane, like Andrew beating on his drum. The coals beneath the kettle croon, and clap their hands and dance in glee, and even the kettle hums a tune to tell you when it's time for tea. The world is such a happy place that children, whether big or small, should always have a smiling face, and never, never sulk at all. It was an this one is entitled 1, 2, 3. So many thanks for the lurk. Until you see your bearded reflection in your tea. Alright, that's amusing. I like that. 1, 2, 3. It was the old lady and a boy that was 3:30, and the way that they played together was beautiful to see. She couldn't go romping and jumping, and the boy no more could he, for he was a thin little fellow with a thin little twisted knee. They sat on the yellow sunlight out under the maple tree, and the games that they played I'll tell you just as it was told to me. It was the hide-and-go-seek they were playing, though you'd never have known it to be, with an old lady and a boy with a twisted knee. The boy would bend his face down on his little sound right knee, and he guessed where she was hiding, in guessing 1, 2, 3. "You're in the china closet," he would cry and laugh with glee. It wasn't the china closet, but he still had 2 and 3. "You are up in Papa's big bedroom, in the chest with the queer old key," and she said, "You're warm and warmer. But you are not quite right," she said. "It can't be the little cupboard where Mamma's things used to be, so it must be in the clothes press, Grandma." And he found her with his 3. When she covered her face with her fingers that were wrinkled and white and wee, and she guessed where the boy is hiding with 1, 2, and 3. And they never had stirred from their places right under the maple tree, this old lady and a boy with the lame little knee, this dear old lady and the boy who was 3:30. That's actually a really pleasant way to play hide and seek. I like that. These ones that we're doing at the moment are just so much more pleasant, so much simpler. I know they're for children, and that's very much the point, but it feels so much more wholesome. The babes in the wood. Now ponder well, your parents dear, these words which I shall write. A doleful story you shall hear, in time brought forth to light. A gentleman of good account in Norfolk dwelt of late, who did in honour far surmount most men of his estate. Sore sick he was, and like to die. No help his life could save, his wife by him as sick did lie, and both possessed one grave. No love between these two was lost. Each was to the other kind. In love they lived, in love they died, and left two babies behind. The one a fine and pretty boy, not passing 3 years old. The other girl more young than he, and framed in beauty's mould. The father left his little son, as it plainly doth appear. When he to perfect age should come, £300 a year, and to his little daughter, Jane, £500 in gold, to be paid down on marriage day, which might not be controlled, but if the children chanced to die ere they to age should come, their uncle should possess their wealth, for so the will did run. Now, brother, said the dying man, look to my children dear, and be good unto my boy and girl. No friends else have they here. To God and you I recommend my children dear this day. But little while be sure we have within this world to stay. You must be father and mother both, and uncle all in one. God knows what will become of them when I am dead and gone. With that bespake their mother dear. O brother kind, quoth she, you are the man must bring our babies to wealth or misery. And if you keep them carefully, then God will you reward. But if you otherwise should deal, God will your deeds regard. With lips as cold as any stone, they kissed their children small. God bless you both, my children dear. With that the tears did fall. Those speeches then their brother spoke to these sick couple there. The keeping of your little ones, sweet sister, do not fear. God never prosper me nor mine, nor aught else that I have, if I do wrong your children dear, when you are laid in grave. The parents being dead and gone, the children home he takes, and brings them straight unto his house, where much of them he makes. He had not kept these pretty babes a 12-month and a day, but for their wealth he did devise to make them both away. He bargained with 2 ruffians strong, with which... Why are you shooting fireworks? If it continues too much longer, I will shut the window. My apologies. Strong, which were of furious mood, that they should take these children young, and slay them in the wood. He told his wife an artful tale. He would the children send to be brought up in fair London, with one that was his friend. Away went those pretty babes, rejoicing at their tide, rejoicing in a merry mind. They should on cook horse ride. They prate and they prattle pleasantly as they rode on their way. To those that should their butchers be, and work their lives decay. So that the pretty speech they had made murderer's heart relent. They are launching more fireworks. Good, it's not picking up. And they that undertook the deed full sore did now repent. Yet some of them, more hard of heart, did vow to do his charge, because the wretch that hired him had paid him very large. The other won't argue thereto, so here they fall to strife. With one another. They did fight about the children's life, and he that was the mildest mood did slay the other there, within the unfrequented wood. The babes did quake for fear. He took the children by the hand, tears standing in their eyes, and bade them straightway follow him. And look, they did not cry. 2 long miles he led them on, while while they found food complain. Stay here, quoth he, I'll bring you bread when I come back again. These pretty babes with hand in hand went wandering up and down, but never more could see the man approaching from the town. Their pretty lips with blackberries were all besmeared and dyed, and when they saw the darksome night, they sat them down and cried, those wandering, those poor innocents, till death did end their grief. In one another's arms they died, as waiting due relief. No burial this pretty pair of any man receives, till Robin Redbreast piously did cover them with leaves. And now they have wrath of God upon their uncle fell. Yea, fearful fiends did haunt his house, his conscience felt on hell. His barns were fired, his goods consumed, his lands were barren made. His cattle died within the field, and nothing with him stayed. And in a voyage to Portugal, 2 of his sons did die, and the conclude himself was brought to want and misery. He pawned the mortgaged all his land ere 7 year came about, and now at length his wicked act did by this means come out. The fellow that did take in hand those children for to kill was for a robbery judged to die. Such was God's blessing will. So did confess the very truth, as here hath been deployed, their uncle having died in gaol, where he for debt was laid. You that extractions be made, and overseas ache of children that be fatherless, and infants made and meek, mild and meek. Take the example abide these things, and yield to each his right, lest God with such like misery your wicked minds requite. Also, there is a nice image there. Hello, Scoops. I hope you are well. I need to drink something to clear my throat. Much better. My apologies for that. A boy's song. Where the pools are bright and deep, where the grey trout lies asleep, up the river and o'er the lea, that's the way for Billy and me. Where the blackbird sings the latest, where the hawthorn blooms the sweetest, where the nestling chirrup and flee, that's the way for Billy and me. Where the mowers mow and the cleanest, where the hay lies thick and greenest, there to trace the homeward bee, that's the way for Billy and me. Where the hazel bank is steepest, where the shadow falls the deepest, where the clustering nuts fall free, that's the way for Billy and me. Why the boys should drive away little sweet maidens from the play, or love to banter and fight so well, that's the thing I never could tell. But this I know, I love to play throughout the meadows among the hay, up in the water and o'er the lea, that's the way for Billy and me. There let us walk, there let us play, through the meadows among the hay, up the water and over the lea, that's the way for Billy and me. Hie away, as in H-I-E. Hie away, over bank, over brae, where the copse wood is the greenest, where the fountain glistens sheenest, where the lady fern grows strongest, where the morning dew lies longest, where the black cock's sweetest sip is. Where the black cock's sweetest sips it. Where the fairy latest trips it. High to haunts right seldom seen, lovely, lonesome, cool and green, over bank and over brae, hie away, hie away. This one is the sea. The sea, the open sea, the blue, the fresh, and the ever free. Without a mark, without a bound, in runneth the earth's wide regions round. It plays the clouds, it mocks the skies, or like the cradle creature lies. I'm on the sea, I am where I would ever be. With the blue above, and the blue below, and the silence wheresoe'er I go. Wheresoe'er. Alright, cool. I go. If a storm should come and awake the deep, what matter? I shall ride and sleep. I love, oh how I love, to ride, Oh, the fierce, foaming, bursting tide, when every mad wave drowns the moon, or whistles aloft his tempest tune, and tells how goeth the world below, and why southwest blast to blow. I never was on the dull, tame shore, but I loved the great sea more and more, and backwards flew to her billowy breast, like a bird that seeketh its mother's nest. And a mother she was, and is to me, for I was born on the open sea. The waves were white and red, the moon, some more on. Let's try that entire sentence again, my apologies. The waves were white and red the morn, in the noisy hour when I was born. And the whale it whistled, and purpose rolled, and the dolphins bared their backs of gold, and never was heard such an outcry wild as welcomed to life the ocean child. I've lived since then in calm and strife, full 50 summers a sailor's life, with wealth to spend and power to range, but never have sought nor sighed for change, and death, whenever he comes to me, shall come on the wide unbounded sea. I seriously adore all of the writings of such style. It just hits me in a special way. I think it's more because the sea is a very large part of my childhood, a very large part of my life, as ever. Where I live at the moment, we're very close to the ocean, we're very close to rivers, we've got a lot of open ground, we've got a lot of forests and such. And I like to feel that I'm reasonably well in touch with all of that. Not necessarily purely due to the fact that I was brought up with it, but there's the obvious mortality aspect of it. You have to respect it, else you'll perish to it. The moment you don't respect something is the moment that it'll prove the fact it needs it. Ah, dear Archimedes. At sea, a wet sheet and a flowering sea, a wind that flows fast and fills the white and rustling sea, and bends the gallant mast, my boys, while, like the eagle free, away the good ship flies and leaves old England to the lee. Oh, for a soft and gentle wind, I heard a fair one cry, but give to me the snoring breeze, and white waves heaving high. And white waves heaving high, my boy, the good ship tight and free, the world of waters in our home, and merry men are we. That's a tempest in your horned moon, and lightning in yon clouds. But hark the music, marines, the wind is piping loud. The wind is piping loud, my boys, the lightning flashing free, while the hollow oak our place is, our heritage the sea. Alright, that one was fun. I like that. Ah, terribly sorry. I mean, again, I know I just paused to say basically the same thing, but it really hits you in a different way when you connect with something that's so vast and so powerful. There is nothing as strong as nature, and there never shall be. And it's absolutely wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. It really is. The lights. I know the ship that passes by day. I guess their business, grave or gay, and spy their flags and learn their names, and whence they come and where they go. But in the night I only know some little starry flames, and yet think these jeweled lights have meanings full as noonday sights. For every emerald signs to me that ship and souls are harbour near, and every ruby rich and clear proclaims them bound for sea. And all the yellow diamonds sat on the mast, the deck and hull in jet, having meanings real as day can show. They tell of care, of watchful eyes, of labour, slumbering hopes and sights, of human joy and woe. Oh, ships that come and go by night, God's blessing be on every light. If ever any of you do go to sea, make sure that you know what lights mean, because a lot of ships are not necessarily equipped with radar. So you have to understand, you have to be able to visually identify ships. Obviously, you've got your port, your starboard, and your astern. But there are so many varied style of lights, and you have to know them by heart. All of this is very good knowledge to have if ever you're on the ocean, day or night, whether you're just paddling in a kayak, whether you're simply sailing around in something to the effect of a laser that's a one-man dinghy, I suppose. If you get yourself a yacht, if you get a super yacht, something to that effect, you need to know these things. I mean, if it's a super yacht, you're not going to need to know these things because you'll have a skipper, I assume, and radar. But you get the premise. If something fails, if, say, a bird strikes your radar down, you still need to be able to visually identify things. Too many people are reliant upon technology. Yes, I'm well aware I'm saying that to a microphone connected to my computer over the internet. But people need to know how to take care of themselves nowadays, and we simply don't. Little Billy. There were 3 sailors of Bristol City who took a boat and went to sea, but first with the beef and captain's biscuits and pickled pork they loaded she. There was gorging Jack and guzzling Jimmy, and the youngest, he was little Billy. Now when they got as far as the equator, they'd nothing left but one split pea. Says gorging Jack to guzzling Jimmy, I'm extremely hungry. To gorging Jack, says guzzling Jimmy, we've nothing left. Us must eat we. Says gorging Jack to guzzling Jimmy, with one another we shouldn't agree. There's little Bill, he's young and tender. We're old and tough, so let's eat he. Oh, Billy, we're going to kill and eat you, so undo the button on your chime. When Bill received this information, he used his his pocket handkerchief. Is that how that's spelled? First, let me say my catchism. With my poor mammy taught me. Make haste, says guzzling Jimmy, while Jack pulled out his snicker and snee. I don't know what that is. So Billy went up to the main top gallant mast, and down fell the bended knee. Down he fell on his bended knee. He scarce had come up to 12th commandment, when up he jumps. There's land, I see. Jerusalem and Madagascar, and North and South America. There's a British flag, a riding an anchor, with Admiral Nepar, KCB. So when they got aboard of the Admiral's, he hanged Fat Jack and flogged Jimmy. But as for little Bill, he made him the captain of 73. We're not pointing out the fact that they were terribly wrong with their coordinates if they thought Madagascar and North and South America were right next to one another, but I love it. Most likely they were by the Mexico and South America, just sort of between the canal there. Obviously that wasn't there, was it? Was that man-made? Alright, hold on, I need to check this. This stuff genuinely interests me. So let's... You're a slow browser, but you shall do. First, let's quickly find the name. Also, hello, Alex. How are you today? I'm glad you are well. I have to quickly check something about a canal that was built between North and South America to save a great deal of shipping. Whereabouts is it? Panama. Of course it's Panama Canal, isn't it? Doe. Redeemed posture check. I didn't even notice that. My apologies. Many thanks. So, if I now go back... Sorry, we were reading children's poetry and anything about the sea kind of hits me. Panama Canal was built in... It's not just... 1530. Jesus, that early. Wow. Alright, that's quite cool. Open image, new tab. It's not showing anything. Oh, I love old maps. I know it's technically a chart, but still. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Terrible apologies for the diversion. Great, wide, beautiful, wonderful world. Good point, we should get him his book again. There we are. It amuses me far too much. Great, wide, beautiful, wonderful world, with the wonderful water around your curled, and the world's grass upon your breast. World, you are beautifully dressed. The wonderful air is over me, and the wonderful wind is shaking the tree. It walks on the water and whirls the mills, and talks to itself on the tops of the hills. You friendly earth, how far do you go? With the wheat fields that nod and the rivers that flow, the cities and the gardens, and cliffs and isles, and people upon you for thousands of miles. Ah, you are so great, and I am so small. I tremble to think of you, world at all. And yet, when I said my prayers today, a whisper inside me seemed to say, you are more than the earth, though you are such a dot. You can love and think, and the earth cannot. How bizarre. Praise for mercy. Whenever I take my walks abroad, how many poor I see. What shall I render to my God for all his gifts to me? Not more than others I deserve, yet God hath given me more. For I have food, while others starve, or beg from door to door. How many children in the street half naked I behold, while I am clothed from head to foot, and covered from the cold. While some poor wretches scarce can tell where they may lay their head, I have a home wherein to dwell, and rest upon my bed. And these thy favours day by day to me above the rest. Then let me love thee more than they, and try to serve thee best. I don't think that's necessarily the message he should take. Also, I have just spotted... That's not a moth, actually. What are you? Whatever you are, please leave. I'm trying to read. Oh good, now it's flying. I'll find that later. First spring morning. Look, look, the spring is come. Oh, feel the gentle air that wanders through the the borders to burst, the thick buds everywhere. The birds are glad to see the high, unclouded sun. Water is fled away, they sing, the gay time is begun. Adorn the meadows green, let us go dance and play, and look for violets in the lane, and ramble far away, to gather primroses that in the woodland grow, and hunt for oxlips, or if yet the blades of bluebells show. There the old woodman gruff, half. That does say half, by the way. So I'm not just stumbling on a word. The copies. Alright, now I'm stumbling on a word. Half the copies cut, and weaves the hurdles all day long. Beside his willow hut, we'll steal on him, and then startle him all with glee, singing our song of winter fled and summer soon to be. Now I will very much point out they said to steal on him. That means to sneak up on him. I have to preface that. I wouldn't encourage people to thieve anything, but if you are sneaking up on someone to steal them, yeah, that's fine. Sneak up on people. It's funny. I do it all the time by accident. You just walk along, no one hears you. Join into a conversation and you see them jump. Gay Robin. Gay Robin is seen no more. He is gone with the snow, for winter is o'er, and Robin will go. In need he was fed, and now he is fled away to his secret nest. No more will he stand begging for crumbs, no longer he comes beseeching our hand, and showing his breast at window and door. Gay Robin is seen no more. Blithe Robin is heard no more. He gave us his song when summer was o'er, and winter was long. He sang for his bread, and now he is fled away to his secret nest. And there in the green, early and late, along to his mate, he pipeth unseen, and swalloweth his breast. For us it is o'er. Blithe Robin is heard no more. I seriously do adore it when they write like that. Valentine's Day. Oh, I wish I were a tiny browny bird from out the south, settled among the Alden Holst, and twittering by the stream. I would put my tiny tail down and put up my tiny mouth, and sing my tiny life away in one melodious dream. I would sing about the blossoms, and the sunshine and the sky, and the tiny wife I mean to have in such a cozy nest. And if someone came and shot me dead, why, then I could but die, with my tiny life and tiny song just ended at their best. What? Oh my lord. That insect has returned. Give me a moment. Can I catch him? I've got glass. I've got paper. Yep. Haha, caught you. I will be but a moment. I should probably close my window anyway. I will take this time to go and get myself a drink. I highly recommend you ought to do as well. See you shortly. Click. I want that no confetti. Hello, sorry for the long absence. Oh, terribly sorry. I had to sneeze. Also, it turns out that it was indeed a moth, and just a very large clothes moth. Which isn't good for my very clothes-obsessed self. You alright, buddy? Anyway, let us continue. Valentine's Day. Cat's hopping up. Hold on. Pop that over there. Grab you. Close you. There you go, buddy. You coming over? He's just off camera at the moment. No, we did Valentine's Day. The Blackbird. The Blackbird was a month of gold, though sombre be his feathers. The lark is for the summer noon, the blackbird for all weathers. The lark, he sets his heart above all things that are on earth, but the blackbird is in a cherry tree, finds nest and food and mirth. The blackbird is bonny bird, despite his morning colour. He sings, but all the merrier with earth and skies grow duller. He whistles and he sings, the while he swings from tree to tree. How bizarre. For the rarer mate and a fair mate in the cherry burrs has he. Of all the trees in the orchard, the cherry tree's the best, for deep amid its branches, like the blithe, hard in its breast. There's lilts. There's lilts a hidden blackbird, and he's a singin' to his dear. And who would grudge their cherries so sweet a song to hear? Oh, who would grudge their white hearts to pay for such a song? God love the merry blackbird who lifts the year along. God shield the blackbird's nestings, and the blackbird's brooding wife, and fill up the sweets full measure the day of the blackbird's life. Are you okay, buddy? You alright? Yeah, he's just waking up again. It looks like we'll take a short cat break. Give him a good deal of attention. You alright? Yeah, he just wants attention. He's quite happy. Alright, both hands. Not on the keyboard. Well, it looks like this is how I'm going to have to read now. Changing page is going to be a pain. Going into branches. Joy to Philip, he this day has his long coats cast away, and the childish season gone, put the mainly breeches on. Official on gay parade. Sorry, officer on gay parade. Red coat in the first cockade. Bridegroom in his wedding trim, birthday beer surprising him. Never did with the conscious gait strut about in half the state, or the pride yet free from sin of the little mannequin. Never was the pride or bliss half so rational as his. Sashes, frocks, to those that need 'em, Philip's limbs have got their freedom. He can run, or he can ride, and do 20 things beside, which his petticoats forbade. Is he not a happier lad? Now he's under another banana. Banners. Now he's under another banners. He must leave his former manners, bid adieu to female games, and forget their very names. Puss in corners, hide and seek, sports for girls, and punnies weak. Beast the bear. Baste the bear. He now may play at leapfrog, football, sport, away at football, sport, away at, show his skills and strengths at cricket, mark his distance, pitch his wicket, run about in winter snow, till his cheeks and fingers glow, climb a tree or scale a wall, without any fear to fall. If he got a hurt or a bruise, to complain he must refuse, though the anguish and the smart go on to his little heart. He must have his courage ready, keep his voice and visage steady, brace his eyeballs stiff as drum, that a tear may never come, and his grief must only speak from the colour of his cheek. Don't press buttons, buddy. Thank you. Oh, that was the end of that one, was it? No. Hold on. There we are. There's a very short piece. This and more he must endure. Hero he in miniature. This and more must now be done. Now the breeches are put on. Charles and Mary Lamb. I actually really like that one. It's very much the old style of raising people, though. I mean, that's half the reason that men's mental health is where it is at the moment. Because we're only starting to actually pay attention to it. Hello, Courtney. He's very much taken over my desk as ever. If ever the camera is on, he is here. And we're reading extremely old poetry. This is currently from, I think, the 1830s. This one is named Neo. He did have a brother, but unfortunately he is now gone. And this cat has become mine, and mine alone, though he is the family cat. He lives in my room and demands attention all year round. He doesn't particularly like it if I don't pay him attention, so we're quite happily going to give attention to him. Hello, my dear, how are you? Whenever we do these streams, we almost unanimously have a cat break by the looks of it. Don't forget, in our Discord channel, we do have a pet section that I would very happily see filled in time. Alright, we just got home. Gonna make some dinner and going to do a project for Mother's Day. Oh, very nice. Little wooden cards. Oh, those ones, yes. You'll have to show me how those come out. Will they be painted? I reckon that'd be quite fun for them. Keep them occupied for a while. Right, you going to be okay if I start reading again? Yeah, he'd be fine. To the next one. A Child's Ever Song. It will be painted, not sure. We'll get the painting tonight, though. Alright. He likes all the attention. Yes, he is very much an attention whore, and that's okay. Keep your feet on the table so I don't hurt them by accident. Child's Ever Song. The sun is weary for the run, so far and fast today. The birds are weary, for who sang so many songs as they. The bees and butterflies at last are tired out, for just think too how many gardens through the day their little wings have fluttered through. And so, as all tired people do, they've gone to lay their sleepy heads deep, deep in warm and happy beds. The sun has shut its golden eye and gone to sleep beneath the sky. The birds and butterflies and bees have all crept into flowers and trees, and all lie quiet, still as mice, till morning comes like father's voice. So that's Joffrey, isn't it? Geoffrey. So Geoffrey, Owen, Phyllis, you must sleep away till morning too. Close little eyes, and down little heads, and sleep, sleep, sleep in happy beds. I do try to keep the light off of him, generally. Happily, that doesn't happen for me. With Game of Thrones, I was introduced to it by Red Wedding, knowing none of the story, and just being shown that one scene. It was, interesting. I can't say I watched any more of it, though. The problem is, the premise of the setting is very much up my alley. If I move this, oops, you may have more room. Let's not bend the wires too much, though. Yes, it's not a great way to introduce people, is it? Anyway, to move on. Hunting song. Waken, lords and ladies gay, on the mountain dawns the day. All the jolly chase is here, with hawk and horse, and hunting spear. Hounds are in the couple, in their couples yelling, hawk are whistling, horns are kneeling, merrily, merrily mingling, they waken lords and ladies gay. Waken, lords and ladies gay, the mist has left the mountains grey. Springlets in the dawn are streaming, diamonds on the brake are gleaming, and foresters have been busy to track and buck the thicket green. Now we come to chant our lay. Waken, lord and ladies gay. Waken, lords and ladies gay, to the greenwood haste away. We can show you where he lies, fleet or foot, and tall of size. We can show the marks he made, when 'gainst the oak his antlers frayed. You shall see him brought to bay. Waken, lords and ladies gay, louder, louder chant the lay. Waken, lords and ladies gay, tell them youth and mirth and glee run a course as well as we. Time, stern huntsman, who can balk stanch as hound and fleet as hawk. Think of this and rise with day, gentle lords and ladies gay. I'm fairly sure I've mentioned this in the past, but again, where I'm rather rural in where I live, we actually have a proper hunt that quite happily and frequently go about. It's got to a point where people no longer protest them in the same ways that they used to, because people from cities and large towns don't understand the purpose of the hunt. They don't understand pest control, and sit there going, it's inhuman, it's immoral. Think of those poor foxes. You know, not thinking about sheep or chickens and cows. I mean, the ticks and fleas that hop off of foxes onto cows are astronomical. I actually did have to shut my window because I could hear foxes again. And they have quite the tone. But no, the hunt is generally a very good thing. It's honestly more for sport and the joy of riding nowadays, though. They set up a course, they have a trail set for them. It's not very often that they actually hunt real foxes anymore. But they do get the dogs some proper meat. They, of course, make it more sporting than just here it is. Anyway, sing on, blithe bird. Don't worry, I'm not resting my cat. I've plucked the berry from the bush, the brown nut from the tree, but heart of happy little bird ne'er broken was by me. I saw them in their curious nest, close couching, slying peer, with their wild eyes little glittering beads, to note if harm were near. I passed them by, and blessed them all. I felt that it was good to leave unmoved the creatures small whose home was in the wood. And here, even now, above my head, a lusty rogue doth sing. He pecks his swelling breast and neck, and trims his little wing. He will not fly, he knows full well, while chirping on that spray, I would not harm him for a world, or interrupt his lay. Sing on, blithe bird, and fill my heart with summer gladness. It has been aching many a day with measures full of sadness. Oh, hey, another William. Motherwell. I'm going to have to note that down, because that's the first one I've read of his, and I actually really like it. Where's a note? My dear, you'll be a notepad, and he's leaning on Zero. Come on, buddy. Off Zero you get. Where was it? We're about to read another William one, Miller. But this is Motherwell. Yes. Well. Gonna go watch Outlander. I just had to pop in and say hi. You and your lovely cat. I see there was a 2 there and I completely skipped over it. I'm sure he would be very happy to meet you, and it was lovely having you drop by. Have a good day. He's leaning on Zero again. Could you stop, maybe, please? He doesn't think he will. Wee Willie Winkle rins through the town. Tune. Oh God, it's in an accent. This is going to be an accent, and it's got to be this way. Wee Willie Winkle wins through the town, upstairs and downstairs, in his nicht goon. Turling at the window, crying at the lock, are the weans in their bed, for it's now 10 o'clock. Hey, Willie Winkle, are you coming, Ben? The cat's singing grey threads to the sleeping hen. The dog how do you read that? Spelled on the floor, and Disney gay a cheap. But here's the wake for a lady that wanna fall asleep. Ooh, careful with my books, please. Thank you. We can pop these back up now. Open that up. Have our little dove reading. Anything but sleep, you rogue. Glorin' like that moon, rattling in air and jug, wi' an airin spoon, rumbling, tumbling round, about crawling like a cook, scarling like a cane wat, whacking in sleeping folk. Hey, Willie Winkle, the wains in a creel, wumbly, half a berry knee, like a ver eel, rugging at the cat's lug, travelling a haran turns. Hey, Willie Winkle, see there he comes, where it in the mirth that has a story wean, a wee stumple stosy that canny rein his lane, that has a battle eye wi' sleeping afore he'll close an eye, but the kiss frae off his rosy lips gies strength anew to me. That was fun. Good Lord, that was fun. Oh no, this stuff isn't new at all. This is extremely old. This predates you. I need to mute that. That was Miller. because I want to read more of that. That was tremendously fun. This is Archimedes. For those of you who don't know or not, he is from a game called Team Fortress 2, and he was on the medic. But he was one of my favorite pets, and I had like 7 of him at one point. And this one gave access to the genuine Archimedes. And that was my prize on that game. He was my possession. He was difficult to sell. But things move on. That's the point I was going to mute Steam. Terribly sorry for that. Drag you over there. Click you. Click. Do not disturb. Let's quickly see what that message was, though. It was my brother. Have you over there, so if he replies, I can respond reasonably quickly, but not at haste. Creep afore ye gang. Creep, oh, my bairnie, creep afore ye gang. Cock ye baith ye lugs to your auld granny sang. Gin ye gang as far ye will think the road lang. Creep, oh, my bairnie, creep off ye gang. Creep, oh, my bairnie, ye are owner, young to learn, to tot up and down, yet me bonny wee bairn. God, I love it when it forces this. Better creepin' canny as fain way a bang. Dun ta'en your wee brow, creep afore ye gang. Jesus. Just so you understand, if you can read any of that, I am reading it as it is indeed written. It is tremendous. I love it when a poet or any writer forces you to read in an accent. Not horses, forces. With an F. Then you can, you'll creep and you'll hatch, and you'll nod to your mither, watching like stab or your wee duncy brether. Rest ye on the floor till your wee limbs grow strang, and ye'll be broad shell yet. Creep after ye can. The wee birdie faith when it tries ours to flee. Folks are sure to tumble when they climb away, hey. Then we dinna walk right, are sure to come to rang. Creep out, my bairnie, creep out of your gang. By James Ballantyne. Lord, I love it. I really do. Old Daddy Darkness. And that's A-U-L-D. Not old. Old Daddy Darkness creeps frae his hole, black and blackmore blin as a mole. Stir the fire till the lows. Let the bairnie sit. Old Daddy Darkness is no wanting yet. See him in the corners hidden frae the light. See him at the window glooming at the night. Night. Turn up the gas light. Turn up the gas licht. Close the shutters, on or Daddy Darkness will flee far away. Away to hide and birdie within the cozy nest. Away to the lap wee floors on the mother's breast. Away to loosen gaffer toil frae his daily care. For all Daddy Darkness is kindly to a. He comes when we're weary, to wane frae o'er waves. He comes when the bairnies are getting off their clays. To covet them, see cozy and bring bonny dreams. So all Daddy Darkness is better than he seems. Stake your rein, my wee tot. You'll see Daddy then. He's in below the bed clays. To cuddle ye he's fain. No nestle in the bosie, sleep and dream ye fill. Till wee David Daylight comes kicking o'er the hill. Oh, good God, I love it. That is a really lovely way to make sure your kid isn't scared of the darkness, though. Like, just say that, yeah, he's here to make sure you have a wonderful dream. And then David Daylight comes kicking over the hill. Sorry. Lost myself briefly on that one. That was a James Ferguson. I can read Scottish names. $28.50. Wee Davy Daylight. Oh, wonderful, yes. Wee Davy Daylight kicks over the sea early in the morning. We are clear, waken the birdies that were sleeping soon. Wee Davy Daylight is nae lazy loon. Wee Davy Daylight glowers o'er the hill, glints through the greenwood, dances on the rail, smiles on the wee cot, shines on the hay. Wee Davy Daylight. Sorry, I thought that was a moth. And cheers the heart's eye. Come, bonny bairnie, come awa to me. Cuddle in my bosie, sleep upon my knee. Wee Davy Daylight nor has closed his eye. In among the rosy clouds, far ayont the sea. By Robert Tennant. These are three very different authors, I hasten to add. And two of them have Wee Davy Daylight. And I fucking love Wee Davy Daylight. And all Daddy Darkness. I'm gonna genuinely pull those into my lexicon and use them. Just look out my window when I'm going to bed. Oh, there's Wee Davy Daylight coming. Lord. Excuse me. I lost myself for a moment. Chancellor, no, Chancellor, of all the birds from the east to west that tuneful and are dear, I love that farmyard bird the best. They call him Chanticleer. Chanticleer. I hate it. Chancellor. Chancellor. That's. Hold on. Chancellor. No, not spelled like that. Never mind. It looks like it's spelled like Chancellor, though. Cold plume and copper plume. Comb of secret. No. Comb of scarlet gay. And 'tis he that scatters night and gloom, and wishes back the day. He is the sun's brave herald that, ringing his blithe horn, calls round the world dew-pearled, and heavenly arise of morn. Oh, clear gold, shrill and bold, he calls through creeping mist the mountains from the night and cold to rose and amethyst. He sets the birds to singing, and calls the flowers to rise. The morning cometh, bringing sweet sleep and heavy eyes. Gold plume and silver plume, comb of coral gay, 'tis he packs off the night and gloom, and summers home the day. Black fear sends it flying. Black fear he sends it flying. Black care he drives afar, and creeping shadows sighting before the morning star. The bird of all the forest have dear and pleasant cheer, but yet I hold the rarest, the farmyard chancellor, red cock or blue call, gold cock or white, the flower of the feathered flock. He whistles back the light. Oh, after those prior ones, it's not as fun. Also, I love how it censors that word. I wonder why. The Girl and Her Fawns. With sweetest milk and sugar first I it at my own fingers nursed, and as it grew, so every day it waxed more white and sweet than they. It had so sweet a breath, and oft I blushed to see its foot more soft and white. Shall I say than my hand? Nay, any ladies of the land. It is a wondrous thing how fleet 'twas on those little silver feet. With that pretty skipping grace, it oft would challenge me to a race. And when 't had left me far away, 'twould stay and run again, and stay, for it was nimbler much than hinds, and trod as if on the four winds. I have a garden of my own, but so with roses overgrown, and lilies that you would it guess. Oh, this is hard to read. That you would it guess to be in little wilderness. And all the springtime of the year it only loved to be there, among the bed of lilies. I have sought it oft where it should lie, yet could not till itself would rise. find it, although before mine eyes, for in the flaxen lily's shade it lake a bank of lilies laid. Upon the roses it would feed, until its lips even seemed to bleed. And then to me 'twould boldly, yet boldly trip and print those roses on my lips. Oh. But all its chafe delight was still on roses thus itself to fill, and its pure virgin limbs to fold in whitest sheets of lilies cold. Had it lived long, it would have been lilies without roses within. Okay, alright, they ate it. Is that the same one that is? Is that? Yes, that's not confusing at all. So, because of course, we have a lovely image here. There is a school where all the angel children must work for hours a day. And that is what is written by that name. By that image, sorry. The imps in the heavenly meadow. To heaven's meadow, bright with flowers and... Oh no, that just is... Oh no, part of the page ripped off. And sunshine, the little children go, when they have had enough of life's sad dreaming and leaving the earth below. But as they had not time to learn their lesson before they went away, there is a school where all the angel children must work 4 hours a day, with golden pencils upon silver tablets. They copy fairy tales, and learn to keep their halos bright and shining, and sing and play their scales. And twice a week they glide with merry laughter all down the Milky Way, and homeward in the evening wander safely upon the sunset ray. But Sundays is the day they love and long for. Then all the children go and play from morn till night within a meadow where flowers 1,000s grow. The meadow is not green, but blue and golden, the flowers like dewdrops bright. When it is night, they burn and glow and glisten. Men call them stars of light, though heaven's gate they all must pass to find it, where Peter with the key keeps watch and warns the little angels kindly how good they all must be. They must not fly about or run too quickly, nor go too far away. And when upon his golden key he calls them, then they must all obey. One day it was so very hot in heaven that good Sir Peter slept, and when the little angel children saw it, away they quickly crept. Then they ran and flew about with laughter, and fluttered far and wide. So far they wandered that of heaven's meadow they reached the other side. They came to where the strong tail wooden They came to where the strong, tall wooden paling shuts all that place away, where idle, careless, mischief-loving, naughty, the imps of darkness stay. And there the angels stopped, defaulting, wishing some opening there might be, so that they might each one in turn peep in and see what they could see, but not a chink or hole for all their seeking. No gleam of light pierced through. So with their little wings outspread and eager, right to the top they flew. Oh no. And looking down they saw with awe and wonder imps all as black as soot. Each had 2 horns and each a tail to play with, and hoof instead of foot. They heard the rustling of the angel feathers, they felt the cool sweet air, and lifting up their little coal-black faces, they saw heaven's children there. Then when one voice they cried, "Oh, angel children, you look so good and fair. We pray you, let us come up into heaven and play a little there. We will not tweak nor pull your shining feathers, but be so very good. We'll not try and steal your little halos, but all do as we should." Then quick they flew away from Jacob's ladder. Peter was still asleep, and placed it safely where from heaven to Impland the way was dark and steep. Then every little imp, with shouts and laughter, helped by an angel's hand, scrambled right over the great wooden paling and stood in heaven's land. They all, with air sedate and my apologies. They all with air sedate and pious faces discreetly walked around, their tails like trains upon their arms upheld, and eyes upon the ground, the little angels fluttering round in rapture, and showed the lovely flowers, and bade them listen to the thrilling voices of birds in heaven's burrows, and gently led them by the crystal streamlets, bade them on dewdrops feast, and showed them where the silver moon was rising to light them from the east. Alas! When all the little demons saw her, the moon, so large and round, they all began to roar and growl and gibber and leap from off the ground, and mocking the great white moon with ugly faces turned somersaults in air. And when the angels prayed them cease, in terror they vowed they did not care. They trumbled down the grass in heaven's meadows, they tore the flowers apart and flung them on the earth beyond the paling. With jibe and jeer and shout, they chased the birds and sang among the treetops and hashed their music sweet. They pulled the little angels' tender feathers and trod upon their feet. Then to the good St. Patrick cried the angels to help them in their pain, and if he would but this one time forgive them, they would be good again. Then rose Sir Peter from his peaceful dreaming. An angry saint was he. He wrung his hands and clasped his hand. He wrung his hands and clasped his hand in horror, and seized his golden key. Then blew a mighty blast in wrath upon it. Back all the angels flew, and wide he threw the doors to have heaven open, and thrust the children through. And then he called 2 great and powerful angels, the strong of the race, to chase the little demons out of heaven and clear the holy place. They gathered up the little imps in armfuls, bore them with mighty stride, and flung them over the strong wooden paling, down on the other side. And through they fought, and lashed their tails, and whimpered, and kicked with might and main to heaven's meadow, bright with sun and flowers. They never came again. For 2 long months the little angel children were not allowed to play before the door of heaven in the meadow, but stayed in all day. And when again they sought the heavenly meadow, each child with humble mind must lay aside its little shining halo and leave its wings behind. Oh! But the following is that on that day of sorrow flung out the scattered were, took root and blooms again in earth's green meadows, as daisies, white and fair. Oh, that's lovely and so sad. I do like that one, though. If anyone was curious, that was by Kate E. Bunce, after Randolph Beimbach. That's the nicest depiction of heaven and hell that I've ever heard. It is now 11:04. I will continue for a little while longer, though not my normal amount. But this is tremendous. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and we're not even halfway through. The wreck of the steamship Puffin. Tell your story, children. Well, gather round my knee, and I'll see if I cannot thrill you, though you're a torpid after your tea. Why, with a moving tale of a shipwreck, and should you refrain from sleep, for the cake was a trifle heavy, I flatter myself you'll weep. You all know Kensington Gardens, and some of you, I'll be bound, have stood by the level margin of the pond that's entitled Round. I've actually been there, it's really nice. 'Tis a pleasant spot on this summer day, when the air is laden with balm, and the snowy sails are reflected clear in the mirror of flawless calm. Well, it isn't like that in the winter, when the gardens are shut at 4, and a wind lashing the water and driving the ducks ashore. Ah, the pond can be black and cruel then, when its waves running inches high, and a peril lurks in the tautest yacht that pocket money can buy. Yet in weather like this, with the howling blast of the sky of ominous gloom, did the good ship Puffin put out to sea, as if trying to tempt her doom. She was a model steamer on the latest approved design, and her powerful 10-slug engines were driven by spurts of wine. hydrate. I shall do shortly. Actually, I think you have a thing for the William poets. I just enjoy seeing how many of them there are. I mean, everyone knows Shakespeare, a lot of people know Blake. Wordsworth is another popular one. But these ones are lesser known, but up there with stature, in my opinion. Plus, you understand my intrigue with it. It's interesting to see, for it is without doubt the most prevalent name of poet. I say that with absolutely no proof. And this smarter crew, they were sixpence each. I never shipped on a model bark, while her captain, Nurnberg Noah, had once commanded an ark. Like a fine old salt of the olden school, he had stuck to his wooden ship, but lately he'd been promoted, and this was his trial trip. Off went the Puffin, when steam was up, with her crew and commanded brave. And her screw was whizzing behind her as she breasted the foaming wave. Danger? Each sixpenny seaman smiled at the notion of that, but the face of the skipper looked thoughtful from under his broad-brimmed hat. Terribly sorry, excuse me. Was he thinking of his children three, of Japheth, and Ham and Shem? Ham and Shem? Shem? Those words, yes. Kitty found my dye. Oh no, I don't know which dye you mean, but oh no. Of his elephants, both with trunk and unglued, was he sad at the thought of them? Or the door at the end of his own old ark? Did it give him a passing pain to reflect that its unreal knocking might never deceive him again? Nay, children, I cannot answer. He had passed inquiry beyond. He was far away on the billowy waste of the wild and heavy pond, battling hard with the angry crest of the waves that were rolling in, and seeking to overwhelm and swamp his staggering vessel of tin. Suddenly she slackened and seemed of her task to tire. Aye, from the seas she had shipped of late had extinguished her engine fire, and the park keeper watching her shook his head in a manner unfeeling, cried, "'Twill be nothing short of a miracle now, if that makes the opposite side." Think of it, children. That tiny ship tossed in the boiling froth, drifting about the wild caprice of the elements. Fitful wrath. Drifting about at the wild... I already read that. Her screw propeller was useless now that the flickering flame was out, and the invalids gazed from their snug bath chairs till they almost forgot the gout. Help for the gallant vessel! She is overborne by the blast. She is shipping water. Yet water. by the spoonfuls now. I tell you she's sinking fast. Hi! cried one of her owners to the spaniel, liver and black. Good dog into the water, quick! But the park keeper held it back. Yes, spite of indignant pleading from the eager, excited crowd, he quoted a pedant by law. In the water no dogs allowed. Then shame on the regulations that would hinder an honest dog from plunging into a sister ship that is rolling a helpless log. Stand by all, for she'll ride it out, though she's left to do it alone. She was drifting in, she was close at hand, when down she went like a stone. A few feet more, and they had her safe, and now it was all too late, for the Puffin had foundered in sight of port by a stroke of ironical fate. But the other owner was standing by and tossing her tangled locks. Down she sat, the nearest seat, and took off her shoes and socks. One kiss, brother, she murmured. One clutch of your strong right hand, and I'll paddle out to the Puffin and bring her in safe to land. What can a barefoot child do more than a pampered cur? With his chicken-fed carcass shrinking afraid the bank to stir. The more than baffled spaniel, aye, and more than the pug-dog pet that wrinkles his ebony muzzle, and whinnies if the paws are wet. Whines. Come back, the park keeper shouted, but she merely answered, I won't, and into the water she waded through, the invading whimpered. Don't! Ah! But the pond struck chilly, and the mud on the bottom was thick. But in she paddled and probed, if there was a point of a borrowed stick. Don't let go of me, darling. Keep hold of my fingers tight, and I'll have it out in a minute or two. I haven't got up to it quite. A minute more, and the sunken ship will safe to the surface bring. Yes, the sixpenny sailors too, that we lashed to the funnel with string. Up to the knees in water, ever the brother Ralph groped till they found the Puffin and her sailor, soapy but safe. Soppy. All the dear little sailors, but children, I can't go on, for the poor old wooden-faced Noah was, how shall I tell you, gone! He must have fallen over, out of the heeling boat, away in the dim grey offing to rise and to fall like a float, till the colour deserted his face and form as it might, as an infant sunk. And he sank to the rest in his sailor's tomb and maw of the hungry duck. You are weeping. I cannot wonder, mine is pathetic style. Weep for him, children, freely. But when you have finished, smile, with joy for his shipmates rescued as though by a Prospero's wand, and the puffin snatched from the slimy depths of the round but treacherous pond. And that was by F. Anstey. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was tremendous good fun to read. I do hope that you've all had those little tin boats that you could set in a pond or a bathtub with a tea light, and it would just pop its way along, powered by only a flame. Yes, we shall do this one more, and then I shall end for the night. The choice. There were dolls in grand confessions of satins, silks, and laces, and dolls with fine complexions, requiring airtight cases, and dumb dolls, and talking dolls, and squawking dolls, and walking dolls, and dolls that sleep or keep awake, and dolls that never break, and lady dolls with hats on, and gentlemen with spats on, and rubber, rag, and wood dolls, and doubtful, bad, and good dolls. In fact, they were of all kinds, small kinds and tall kinds, and did you count the fingers, toes, eyes, ears, and cheeks, lips, teeth, and nose, you'd hardly count up any of the dolls that were so many, from the guinea to a penny, from the guinea to a penny. And Florence, lost in Fairland, could only gasp and clutch my hand, and feast her pretty eyes. And which one would you like? I said, but Florence merely shook her head with sundry little sighs. The shopman kindly showed us round, and more than once I thought we'd found the very doll for Flo. Yet when I asked, "Is this your choice?" I heard the very shy voice discreetly answer, "No." But lo, at least the child espied a doll that all her wants supplied, and clasped it to her breast, and when I cried, "Ah, put it down," the shabby thing, "'Twas half a crown," she said, "I like him best." And though the doll was plain and poor, a mangy male of visage dour, she would not let it go. So after much ignored advice, I paid the very modest price, nay, more, I had to call it nice, to satisfy Miss Flo. That was by J.J. Bell. For the time being, that is us for the night. Many thanks for joining me this evening, and if you are watching on YouTube, do recall that we stream every Sunday from 9 p.m. to varying degrees of the morning. Today we are ending at 11:20 because I'm tired. We will send you off to somebody, I'm not quite sure whom yet. Where is my browser? There it is. Go away. Mute you, close you. Let us find somebody to... Ooh, I know who we shall raid. I shall pass you off to a wonderful lady of many interests. Tonight, she seems to be performing music. and I hope you do, as ever, spread nothing but love, and have a wonderful time. And be not afraid to carry love in your heart, and carry that upon your hip. Ta-ra, and have a wonderful time.